Uh-oh, look at this. You're here and I'm pleased because I sure did miss your company. Welcome to the Just Saying podcast with me, Dan.
Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot in the days of old lang syne? Y'all know I had to look them lyrics up because I did not know what they were saying. I always just heard the nah. Y'all, no, seriously, because I really didn't know what they were saying. But I really am here to say thank you. Thank you for bringing another year to a close with me. I didn't think I was going to get emotional. Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you for anybody, all the people who were guests and, helped me to think of thoughts for, conversations here. It's not easy to get on here and talk for 20, 30, sometimes an hour about these topics and, imagining who is listening to me. So thank you for listening to me and my opinion of things. Thank you for supporting me, for sharing this podcast with your friends. Thank you for telling people about this podcast. Thank you for the people who reached out to me personally to let me know that that their friend told them that they listened to my podcast and that they wanted to let me know that it affected them. Thank you for the people who reached out to me that said, I would love to, how do I get involved? How do I listen to this? How do I find you? Thank you for those people who discovered me this year and stuck with me and rode with me. Thank you for my consistent listeners. I appreciate you. I learned that people are listening to me, not just in my city, but in other cities and even in other countries sometimes, and that is amazing to me because I didn't know that my reach, although I wanted my reach to be a thing, I didn't know that my reach could extend so far. Thank you to everyone. I tip my hat to you. I bow to you. I give you a curtsy if I knew how to do it effectively. I give you a curtsy, and I just want to keep on going. So let's just ride. Well. The year is winding down. It's winding down. And it has been a very interesting year. And I mean this as in, like the topics that we saw this year. It has definitely been a very interesting year. So many stories, so many happy events, so many celebrities, of course, which is why we could, continually come here, because the celebrities going to celebrity, the people are going to people, stories going story, right? And so I tried to put together a small list of things that went on this year that I, can remember looking back in the time. So, I want to start off by saying that we had the writers and the actors strike. I know it didn't start at the beginning of the year, but it really did. Once it did happen, it really started to affect everything, because a lot of us creators didn't even know if we could talk about TV shows and movies, because people who want to be in the industry, it was kind of like, don't even talk about TV, don't even talk about shows. And y'all know part of my one of my segments on this podcast is What Did I Watch? Come on, Ruby. It was What Did I Watch? So that became hard. I will be putting out a small episode of the TV shows and movies and songs that I like. It'll be uploaded almost as soon as this episode is. So listen to both of them, okay? Give me some traction. But there's so much going on. So the writer's strike, I want to say, was a big one. But like I said, I'm going to cover that on a separate episode because I just would like to talk about, movies and TV and things like that. And introduce a new thing to you all. But like I said, this episode will drop, and then either the same day or the very next day, the other episode will drop. So you'll get 2 back to back. So make sure you do that. But on to the celebrity news and the hot topics that we had this past year. We started off with that dating list. It was just like things that you don't do, or people you don't date, or places you don't go. And it was a long thing. It was a lot of conversation over this daggone dating list. And I don't want to get back into it, but if you stick into it, if you're strictly sticking to a list that strangers you never met and can't and won't come out to identify themselves made, well, more power to you. And the reason why, this list got interesting to me, it was interesting because it was hot topic, but it didn't hit home to me. But I decided, recently that I was going to think about getting back on dating apps, and I quickly decided against it. But when I did jump out there for like 2 minutes, I was out there, I put my toes in, and it was like the piranha started to come, and I was like, nah. And part of me was like, I could see why people feel like they need to create a list, but the list that was created, no, it's not the one for me. Anyway, let's keep going. The next thing we had was the teacher with the phone. Remember, it was the teacher had the phone, the kid wanted the phone, they started to fight. And the people was like, the teacher should have never put her hands on them. And other people was like, well, the kid should have never put her hands on the teacher. Like, it was a big thing, okay? I don't even know what the outcome of that one was. I didn't look that one up. Then we got into, and this takes us back to dating. Dating is a big topic this year. Dating and couples is a big topic this year, but let's keep going. So we went to Ebony K and the bus driver conversation. Remember Ebony K? Some of y'all still don't know who she is. Ebony K is a lawyer, or she was a lawyer. She was on a couple of reality shows. She did some podcasts, panel shows, things like that. I believe she was on one of the Housewife franchises for a moment. Ebony K was talking to Iyanla Vanzant. I'm not really sure why, but Iyanla was asking her about, would she date a bus driver if he was a good man? And Ebony K basically was like, nah, I don't want no daggone bus driver. He don't make enough money for me. And people was like, why can't she date a bus driver? And then it was a whole nother topic of why are we acting like bus drivers is broke? And all of that, conversation that went on. We ain't gonna get back into it because I don't wanna argue with y'all. I don't wanna tussle today. Then we had Gabrielle Union when she went on. She was being interviewed, and she explained that she pays half the bills in their house. And people was like, why is she, if LeBron James got all that money, why she got to pay any bills and everything? And then Gabby Union had to explain, listen, I don't ever want anybody to be in a position to feel like they could just put me out because everything is theirs. She was saying, like, I'm not saying that he's that type of man, but you never know what, because when life start lifing and things start happening, people could start to shift. And she was like, if he shift that way in his mind, and I'm stuck here after, just looking around like, what I do now? We can't do that. So my name is on everything, with his name on everything. My money go in everything, his money go into everything. And then we also have responsibilities of our own that we take care of, and we take care of them responsibilities. It sent people into a tizzy. It was like, why can't that man pay for everything? But we just had a conversation about Ebony K not wanting to date a man who can't pay for everything, and why she wouldn't want to do that. So it's just like, the way people be flip-flopping when it comes to men and money, I just don't be understanding. But let's keep on moving. Then we got into this whole thing about consent. The topic about consent. This happened because a rapper who has very sexually explicit lyrics was then sexually assaulted. Another rapper decided to just stick his tongue down her mouth without her consent, without any conversation. They were not dating. They barely even knew each other. And there was a conversation about how, well, if she make all these sexy songs, she should just expect that men would do that. And it was like, whoa, big boy, what we talking about right now? That's not okay. So there was a whole conversation about consent, and we found out not we found out, but men started to say out loud what we've known that they've been thinking is women belong to us and we can do what we want to with them when we decide that we can or we want to. That was what that topic basically went into. And then we went into Keke Palmer. She was having a baby, and then we found out that her and the baby daddy was fighting. Her and that baby daddy still fighting, not physically, but now on social media and apparently in the courts. I don't know. We'll find out in a little while. Then Janelle Monáe. Y'all know Janelle Monáe. I don't step, I don't walk, I just float. Float on my float, on my float. Right? Y'all know that song? Y'all don't know that song? Janelle Monáe used to be the artist who dressed in black and white. She was saying she always wore black and white because her mom was a maid and she wanted to pay homage to her mom. Well, one day she decided, I paid homage to my mom. I'd like to put some color on. She made a new album, and then sometime during that promotion of the album, she took her bra off on stage and it set the world aflame. The Christians was like, she sold her soul to the devil. I don't know how rich you got to be for the devil to approach you to ask for your soul. Like, how rich you got to get before the devil said, if you want to get richer, I'll give me your soul and you can. Or if you want to be more known, even though everybody know you, give me your soul and you can. Because I swear Christians swear that somebody sold their soul to the devil. That is always a thing. I never see anybody in church who say that the devil approached them for, to ask them for their soul, because they all super saved, but they swore that Janelle Monáe did because she put color on and showed her boobs, that she sold her soul to the devil. I don't remember Janelle showing the receipts for that, but okay, whatever. One of the saddest things about Christians is that they really do be believing that people be selling their soul to the devil. They really do believe that that's a thing. Like, they really do think like the devil comes to people in the night and be like, give me your soul. And you can be more famous. That's the thing. Like, it's almost like being famous, being rich is the devil's work. But when you be at church, all they always talk about is praying for prosperity. But we ain't going to get into it. I just want to keep on moving on. Stop talking. I'm not about to get into nothing today. We talking about the hot topics. Okay. Then we had Carly Russell. Y'all remember Carly Russell? Carly Russell was a girl who had us worried that she was kidnapped and there was a missing baby from the side of the road. Remember that? The baby girl called 911. Oh, it's a baby on the side of the road. I don't know. Next thing you know, Carly Carr is abandoned. Her wig then got snatched off. Her snacks was missing. And so was she and that baby. Then come and found out a couple days later, Carly Russell was just trying to scare her boyfriend because he wanted to be cheating on her with another woman. They had already broke up. So then she had some kind of court date. I think she got probation or something, like a year's probation. Who knows? It was something small. Whatever. Next thing you know, started the big argument that's still going on today with the word sis. Trans people, some trans person was having a conversation and used the word cis to describe women who were born in and identify as a woman, born in a woman's body and identify as a woman. And when the people heard the word cis, child, I can't tell you how many lives there were on every app to discuss and argue this topic, and I am not getting into it with y'all because I already know where most of y'all stand, and y'all should probably know where I stand. If we ain't clear on it today, We'll find out on another day. But then we turned around and it was the Montgomery Brawl. Y'all know the Montgomery Brawl, where it was the boat and they needed to dock, but the white people was like, nah, y'all not, we not moving our boat. And then the guy from the crew went over and said, you got to move your boat. I got to dock this boat. Your boat is in the way. The white man put his hands on the black man. The black man threw the hat up in the air, and then a brawl ensued. White people just came from the white man's side, but droves of black people. Not only droves of black people, but that young man that jumped off the boat and swam across to come help in Thames, to come help fight with that man. It was that the folded white chair hurt, smack upside the head, hurt around the world, child. And remember, because they tried to even charge my man's with that had that chair, but luckily the people came and poured in a lot of money so he got a good defense, and my man is not going to jail for that. But the Montgomery Brawl was huge. They still selling earrings now, those folded chair earrings. You can still get them, and you could get Montgomery Brawl hats. But also shout out to my man who this fight started with from the very beginning. He has PTSD. That's a very traumatic experience. He did not know if he was going to live or die when this thing began, and I can't imagine how scary it may be to have a bunch of white people attack you. We've seen a bunch of that all the time, unfortunately. So there was that. And then we had to move on to the episode of Mama Dropped the Home Depot pin. This is the story about the boy in Florida who decided that he learned that he had an STD. He believed his baby mama gave it to him, so he called his mom, because his mom and his baby mom worked at the same place. They worked at a Home Depot. They were like contractor workers. They weren't Home Depot employees, but they were contracted to go help at the Home Depot. He asked his mama, he told his mama about this STD and that he was going to kill her. Mama said, hurry up, I don't got time for you to be playing. If you're going to kill her, come kill her. And she told him where they were at. He drove to the Home Depot, walked around a couple hours looking for her, told her that she gave him an STD. She said, child, quit playing. I ain't got no daggone STDs. My man's shot her. She's not alive anymore. She's not alive anymore. One of the things he was saying was that he would rather do it there than in front of their child. But if he had to do it in front of the child, I mean, baby girl got to go. And I was like, whoa, sir. So I just want to give a follow-up on that. My man did testify at his own trial. He did confess that he did it. He said that he was very upset because of this STD. And her lawyers came through with we got her medical records and sis didn't even have an STD. So not only did he murder her, he murdered her for no reason. He murdered her for misinformation, and he murdered her because he was out here doing things to get his own self infected. Okay? Now he got to live with that the rest of his life, because that's what he was convicted of. He was convicted of life. He has life in jail. I don't know if he has a possibility of parole, but he gonna have to serve at least 25 years, okay, for this. And now his mama, I believe in February, is going to court because she assisted in this murder. So you took down your mama too. You left your baby with no parents and no grandma because your mom got to go to jail too. What a wonderful man. What a wonderful man. Okay, then we have Sexy Red dropped the song Pound Town. I'm going to Pound Town. And everybody in my age group was like, disgusting. She's disgusting. What has happened to music? Music has gone downhill. And I was like, we remember Doodle Brown. Doodle Brown. Doodle Brown. We remember that? We don't remember Drop Down and Get Your Eagle On. We don't remember that. We don't remember Step Back, You're Dancing Kind of Close. We don't remember that. And then I went through a whole bunch of other songs that were really nasty. But that whole Luke era, and we was all out there. We was all out there. And we all acted it, not me, because I listen to a lot of music, but a lot of people in my generation really acted like music was not nasty before Pound Town. That music was not explicit before Pound Town. Explicit lyrics, the need for the thing for it that said these lyrics are explicit, this may not be music for children under 18, happened during my generation. There's a reason for that, right? But we ain't gonna get into it. Let's keep on going. Y'all know Shirley Strawberry from Steve Harvey Show, the Steve Harvey Show radio show. And Shirley Strawberry used to read those relationship letters all the time. Child, she was a letter. She was a letter. Ernesto, her husband, child, they had, first of all, he went to jail because he was doing some kind of shaky business. And then he was cheating on her with another woman who was calling and coming to see him in jail. And they had recordings of that. But also they had recordings of her, Shirley Strawberry, talking to Ernesto about Steve Harvey and his wife in Steve Harvey's house. Okay? It was a big thing for a minute. Sis had to get on the radio and publicly apologize to Steve Harvey and then tell everybody she was going to leave Ernesto. Ernesto allegedly was touching young girls. That's allegedly, because I don't know if he was convicted or not. So we got to say allegedly. Don't nobody need to sue me. I have no money. If Tasha K don't have no money, believe that I don't have no money. Okay? So allegedly that's what was happening. And so, I don't know. Let's move on. We learned a whole bunch about the Smiths again. One of the things we should know is that the Smiths ain't never going to leave the internet. We will always know what's going on with the Smiths. Jada, Willow, Jaden. We always going to know what's going on with them. They always going to be doing something. Jada dropped her book. Her book then told that these two was married, then they was separated, and they never getting divorced, but they don't live like a husband and wife. But then he slapped Chris, and then he called her his wife, and she felt a tingle inside, and then now we keep seeing them out everywhere together like they a couple again. I don't know if they together or not. Well, I'm sure we'll find out about it a little bit later. But yeah, we learned a little. We learned more about the Smiths. I still like the Smiths though, y'all. I do. I still like them as a couple. That is a couple. That's not a couple. That could be a couple when they want to, and as individual people. I know a lot of people don't like that, but I do. I do. And this is my show, so whatever. Then we had this story about Britney Spears, because she put out a memoir too, and one of the things she dropped about it, first of all, she dropped that Justin Timberlake used to, cosplay black people, and I was like, are we shocked at that? We didn't know that. We weren't around for that. People was like, Britney Spears said Justin Timberlake used to try to be a black boy. He used to take for shizzle. We know that. We were there. Everybody who was alive during that time, we didn't remember that. Maybe that's why you can't remember that songs was nasty back in the day too. We were just kids, so we didn't care. But the other big deal about it was that Britney said that she got pregnant and Justin Timberlake told her he didn't want no baby. And everybody was like, he's terrible. He told that girl he didn't want no baby. Y'all, Britney Spears don't got the kids she did give birth to. Why was he wrong for foreshadowing something and saying, like, I don't think we need to have no kids. I'm not no daddy, you ain't no mama. And everybody was like, I can't believe he said that. She don't got them kids. A lot was going on. Did we need another baby to not have access to her mama because her family done drove her crazy? Dude, is that what we need? That's what we needed? Another one out here? I think not. Okay, so let's keep moving. Then we had Megan Thee Stallion, who we know went through the ordeal with Tory Lanez and her best friend. I can't think of the name of that girl, but one of the two of them shot her, and It's still a conspiracy on who actually did it, but Tory Lanez did get convicted. He went to jail. And then we ain't seen the best friend nowhere because everybody believed that one or both of them paid her off to just kind of like disappear. I don't know. And then Meg put out a song called Cobra where she was talking about how she's depressed and she was depressed so much she was drinking all the time. And then she put in the song that her boyfriend at the time cheated on her. And everybody hated her for saying that, talking about she should have never said nothing about no man. Of course, because you ain't allowed to talk about no man. And they basically was like, she's dirty for putting their business out. But that's what celebrities are. And we always be finding out their business because they're celebrities. So I don't understand. But okay, moving on. In the same week, we found out that Kiki... That's when she actually said her boyfriend hit her. I think earlier in the year she had the baby, and then we found out that the boyfriend hit her. And then she filed a lawsuit where she was saying that there was some domestic violence going on. She had some stills and some video that she submitted to the court. You know, TMZ people scoured the court, so people found this lawsuit. Kiki never came out herself and said anything, but the blogs were reporting on this lawsuit, and we found out that Kiki was getting beat up at the house. And they still going back and forth right now to this day about people and what they was doing. Now he's saying that she hit him sometimes, and she's saying this, and the mamas got involved, and it's a lot going on over there. And then Cassie in the same week also filed a lawsuit because she said that Diddy, Cassie said, not me. Cassie said in the lawsuit that Diddy sold her, he manipulated her, he traded her body, he sold her body, he assaulted her sexually, lots of things. It's a lot going on in the thing. Then it got settled in one day, 24 hours. What I understand was that she was asking for $30 million. We do not know what the settlement number was, but I'm sure it was a very sizable agreement. And so what I will say is that people was mad about all three of these stories. They just felt like women should just not be talking about. What we learned this year is women should not say nothing bad about men. No matter how bad the man is or the treatment of the man. He don't say nothing on the internet about especially not no celebrity man. If he is a celebrity man, don't say nothing about him. Just be a nice girl, getting whatever abuse you just take that. That's what we learned. And then we learned all of that, but then we learned that Jonathan Majors wanted his white girlfriend to behave like Coretta Scott King and Michelle Obama, even though he wasn't behaving like a Martin Luther King or Barack Obama, and because he felt like he was like a savior for the black community for some reason because he was doing Marvel movies. I'm not really sure, but that's where his ego took him, and because of that, him and his girlfriend got into an argument because of his ego. Him and his girlfriend got into an argument because apparently he was cheating with what we all believe is Megan Good. But it seemed like she thought he was cheating with somebody because the phone got some text messages that looked like a woman was texting, and she wanted to see the phone, and he didn't want her to see the phone. So then she snatched the phone. So then he started to snatch the phone off of her, and then he tried to get away from her by jumping out the car. But then when he got out the car, she tried to get out the car, and then he picked her up and he put her back in the car, and then he started running down the street, and then she started chasing after him, and it was all caught on cameras that were attached to the businesses that they was running by. And then she went and found refuge, of course, with a group of white people, and then they took her to a party, and while the strangers, they took her to a party, and he went to a hotel to go sleep, and then when he came back, he had to call the police to get in his house because she wouldn't wake up to let him in. And then when they got in, she had a scratch or something, or I don't know, maybe he called, I don't know, because he was in the house, so he had to get the people in the building to let him in. But then he called the police because she was passed out. I guess he thought she was injured, so he called 911. And when they came, it was a white woman with a scratch on her, so that's a problem. Somehow this ended up going to court. I don't know why it ended up going to court, but when it went to court, he got convicted of being aggressively putting her back in the truck. Okay, these are not criminal charges. He does not have any criminal felonies or anything like that. He just got convicted of snatching his phone back from her violently. That's what they saying. Allegedly, they saying, well, not allegedly, it is in the course. They saying that he was too harsh in how he snatched the phone, and he shouldn't have put her back in the car. I know that we all want to say this all sounds frivolous, but the end of the day really just is, even though it is your property, you can't, you should have just let it go that she snatched it and went on ahead and called her a thief and had her convicted of stealing. But he went and took it a step further and wanted to snatch it back. And then when he got out the car, instead of just running and letting her run behind him, he picked her up and put her back in the car. You can't do that. I know that we all want to believe like he ain't really do nothing, but he can't do that. And that is like a little fine or something. I don't know. It's like a fine or something. And I know we want to be like, well, that's not no big deal. It's not really that big of a deal. But don't put your hands on people is the end of it. Just don't put your hands on people at all. She did not put her hands on him. She put her hands on his phone. That does not justify putting your hands on a woman. Or anybody. It doesn't justify you putting your hands on anybody because they touch something you don't want them to touch. Property of yours that you don't want them to touch, that doesn't mean that you are justified in putting your hands on them. I think that the other lesson here is, if you don't want to be with somebody, break up with them. This woman was not the woman that he wanted. He clearly was talking to somebody else on his phone, which is why he didn't want her to have it. Which means there's somebody else he wanted to be with. He could have broken up with her at any point. And I think I said this in the episode, which basically was, if he felt sorry for her, he could have said, let me go ahead on and break up with you. If we living together, I'll go ahead on and put a down payment on an apartment that you could sustain without me, and help you move, get you a bed or whatever, and let you be on your way, because I don't want to be with you. I'm moving on to a next level in my life, and you don't seem to be able to go there with me. And we need to understand that is a thing. Break up with the people. Stop standing around till you get to these places where now you embarrassing, you losing your jobs because you acting a fool and a monkey out here in these streets, because you don't know how to let somebody go. You don't want to look like the bad person. Now you look like a bad person and you ain't got no job. That's Jonathan Majors' thing. At the end of the day, it was a very interesting year, and I'm glad that you were here with me while we covered it and had some good discussions. Y'all know I made some good points. I hope that I have entertained you, but also given you thought throughout the year. You know me, I'm gonna be back here next week with another episode. I don't really take breaks. I take some breaks along the way, but every month we pushing through, and the intent is to be more consistent this year than I was last year. I really want this to be a thing for me. And so, like I said before, the celebrities going celebrity, pop culture going pop, and the internet gonna be internet, and life gonna life, and I'm gonna talk about it, okay? Make sure you share this with your friends, y'all. Share this. Tell your friends it don't cost nothing to subscribe. Subscribing helps. giving me reviews, especially on Apple. If you're on Apple, please give me some reviews. Hit those 5 stars. Y'all here anyway. It don't cost you nothing. Takes but some time. It costs you just some time. All of this is free. All of this is free, but it helps to push me, because what I would like to do is I would like to be able to get connected with Kev on stage, Kevin Fredericks, if y'all not sure. I would like to be part of a network of podcasts that I believe that he's getting ready to start. And so we got to push this podcast so that Kevin can be aware that I exist, okay? That's what we need. So I need y'all to go ahead on and subscribe. Share it with your friends and tell them to subscribe. Ask them to subscribe even if they haven't started listening yet. Just show them how to get to the podcast app on Spotify, Apple. We everywhere. YouTube. I don't even know. If it's a place for podcasts, I'm probably there. So if you look in, go ahead on, you will find me. And then I am, again, on TikTok giving y'all lots of conversation over there, y'all, because that's a daily thing. So if you want to find me, I'm on TikTok. I'm also on Instagram. I am barely on Facebook. Don't worry about my Facebook. Please don't. Go to the other sites if you really want to know what I'm talking about, okay? And don't forget, y'all, even though New Year's Eve is coming up and y'all know we all like to get a little look, but make sure y'all drinking some water. Take your vitamins in the morning so that you're okay for the rest of that day, and stretch your body. You don't want to wake up on New Year's Day and that body is tight and sore because you didn't stretch and you ain't drink no water, and now you dehydrated from the drinking that you had. And go ahead on and get ready to do all your superstitions that I know y'all Christians want to act like ain't superstitions, but they are. They not rooted in the Bible. The Bible don't say nothing about greens and pork. I promise you it don't. It don't. But you do them anyway because they fun and they do everything. Get your 12 grapes, get your door open, sweep the dirt out, do your laundry, let the man walk in, put the money in his pocket, do all the things, all the superstitions that y'all feel work for y'all, so y'all don't gotta end up selling y'all soul to the devil like Janelle Monáe for y'all to prosper. Do all of the things. I tried 12 grapes last year, but y'all know I had the weight loss surgery. I can't eat 12 grapes in a minute, but I did eat as many as I possibly could. And was I prosperous this year? Not really. So we'll see. Maybe I'll get, I don't even got no man to walk through my front door. My boys ain't even here. They done moved out and they done moved on to other cities to prosper in their own lives. So I don't even got a man to walk through the door. I don't even got a male dog. My dog's a woman. So I don't know what we gonna do, but we gonna try to figure it out up in here. Maybe I'll ask the mailman to walk in right quick. We'll see. But I don't even know if I got greens. I think I might got cabbage. Do that work? Somebody help me. Anyway, I'm so glad that you all were here, that you're still here with me. That means we made it through another year, y'all. We've made it to the end of another year, and I'm believing that when the clock strikes 12, balls drop, confetti falls, people kiss, what else happens? Fireworks happen. I believe you're gonna be here with me rocking for the next year. I'm believing I'm gonna be here too. And shout out to anybody who had any losses this year. We're going to pull it together. And next year, we are going to work on our mental health a lot more. So, guys, don't forget, it's me, Danny. You've been listening to the JusSayin podcast.